So God created light, and the way that he created light is he said, let there be light. Now, when it says God said, it literally means that Hebrew word means to call or to command or to make something happen with your words. That's what happened. He commanded it, and it occurred. That he created not just light, but the heavens and the earth. All were created by the word of Adonai. And this is the complete Jewish Bible version because this is the way the Jewish mindset would have understood how God created everything. By the word of Adonai, which is the Lord, the heavens were made and their whole host by a breath from his mouth. Let all the earth fear Adonai. Let all living in the world stand in awe of him. For he spoke and there it was. He commanded and there it stood. Because your word is so powerful that you spoke, and where there was nothing, suddenly the world just came into being because he commanded it, and poof, there it stood. That's pretty powerful, right? And it would make sense to us that from a Jewish standpoint and a Christian standpoint, if the same God that speaks things into being, the universe, the stars, the galaxies, our earth, light itself, and that just comes into being, that we should listen if he starts speaking those same powerful words to us about our life, right? This is right after he had given this Sermon on the Mount where he's telling people, hey, here's how you deal with people who don't like you. Here's how you deal with marital issues. Here's how you deal with all the common things in life that everyone on the planet, regardless of their religious persuasion, regardless of their financial situation, political affiliation, we all have to deal with the same stuff. And he's just given this whole litany of advice on here's how you deal with that. And he says, so everyone who hears these words of mine and acts upon them, obeying them, will be like a sensible, prudent, practical, wise man who built his house upon the rock. And the rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat against that house, yet it did not fall because it had been founded on the rock. So he says, hey, every single person who hears the words that I'm speaking, what movie was that? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Probably wasn't a good movie, so I shouldn't quote it in church. But in any case, he says, hey, here are the words that I'm speaking to you. And every single person who hears them and obeys them, you're like a smart guy who builds your house. Now, here's the thing he also says. The rain's going to come. Storms are going to come. Sickness is going to come. Financial issues are going to come. The trials of life are going to come. But if you're obeying the literal word of God, guess what? You're going to be okay. Now, for those who don't obey his word, he says this, and everyone who hears these words of mine, not just everyone who's a Christian, everyone, period, who hears these words of mine and does not do them will be like a stupid, foolish man who built his house upon the sand. And the rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell. And great and complete was the fall of it. So yeah, you hear God's word and you're like, you know what, I'm going to put that to place in my life. I'm going to obey the word of God. I'm going to do what God calls me to do. I'm going to be able to stand against the trials and the struggles and the temptations that come. But God, not me, God says if you hear that and disobey it, you're stupid. You're foolish. Because the word of God is extremely powerful when spoken, extremely beneficial when obeyed, and extremely useless when it's ignored.